Hey everybody, it's Mr. Marshall here at Stony Lane. Guess what? We are 250 years old. The United States is 250 years old, and so we are celebrating by learning all about it. We're going to learn about the different states. And every state has its own story about how it became a state and why it looks the way that it does. And today we're going to talk about the names of the states and how did they get these names? Because all of the names of the states tell a story. They all teach something about that state. And a lot of the names of the states come from different languages. Okay? And so today we're going to learn about 5 of those different languages that helped to name our states. Ready? So the first state we're going to look at is right here in the Northeast in the area called New England. Right? New England is an area that has 6 states inside it. And one of the states we're going to talk about is from there. And so the first state we're going to talk about is the state called Vermont. Okay, Vermont. Vermont comes from a French word, actually 2 French words. Let's look and see what Vermont means. Vermont comes from 2 French words. The first part of Vermont, V-E-R, comes from the French word that means green. And the second part, Mont, comes from the word that means mountain. So Vermont is a state with lots of green mountains. Let's take a look, right? Means green mountain state, and it's French. And actually, Vermont is called the Green Mountain State because look at how beautiful it is. All those pictures are taken from different places in Vermont. And if you drive around Vermont, that's what you see. That's what you see. You see beautiful green mountains that make that state so beautiful. It's a small state, but a beautiful state. Let's go to look at another state. The second state we're going to talk about today is a little further south of Vermont. It's also in the east, and it's also one of the original 13 colonies. Do you see it? Do you know what state that is? That's the state called Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania's name has a story too. One of the original leaders of the state of Pennsylvania is a man named William Penn. William Penn. And so let's see how his name helped to create the state's name. So let's write Pennsylvania up here. Pennsylvania. There's a lot of letters, right? It's got 2 words inside it. Penn and Sylvania. Right? Penn just means pen. That's his name, William Penn. And actually this state was not named for this guy William Penn. It was named for his father, who was also called William Penn. William Penn, the older one, was a military leader, and it was named in his honor. Sylvania means woods or forest. Okay? So let's take a look and see why. These are some beautiful pictures that are taken in Pennsylvania. Take a look. If you live near Pennsylvania or you live in Pennsylvania, there's lots of places where you can go and see beautiful forests that make that state as beautiful as it is. I know I've spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania, and there's lots of great forest places. There's a place here, I believe, this is the picture of it. It's called Seven Tubs, in which the forest creates kind of like bathtubs, 7 of them, like where the water can collect and you can go playing or swimming in the water. Okay? So that's the second state. So we heard about a state whose name was French. We heard about a state whose name was Latin. But there's other languages too. Here's the third state. Ready? This one actually has its name on it. Mississippi. It's down in the south. Mississippi. I bet you've learned how to spell that name. Try to spell it with me. Ready? Mississippi. Mississippi. And so Mississippi comes from a different language. It's actually a Native American or indigenous language. Here we go. And it comes from 2 words also. Ready? So let's write Pennsylvania and see what it means. So here we go. Mississippi. Here we go. So the first part is MISSI. It actually comes from the word MISI. There's an extra S in there, and it means great, like big. And this last part, Sipi, means river. Big river, great river. And you know, that's called the Mississippi River. And if you look at a map of the U.S., the map of the U.S. shows that there is one of the longest rivers anywhere that goes down right the middle, right by where Mississippi is. And the river is actually right there next to it. And it's called the Mississippi River. These are some pictures of the Mississippi River. And the Mississippi River is not just in Mississippi, it goes all throughout the middle part of the U.S. And before there were cars and trucks and before there were airplanes, that river was what helped transport people and things from one place to another. Because you could take the Mississippi River and take the products that you were selling and take them very far away. And so the Mississippi River has a big part of the story of the United States. Okay, let's go on and do another one. So we've heard French, and we've heard Latin, and we've heard a Native American language called Ojibwe. Here's another one. This state is further west. See it? Where is it? There it is. That's a state called Nevada. Nevada. And Nevada, some people say Nevada, but people that live there will say, no, it's Nevada. Nevada comes from Spanish. And it doesn't come from two words. It's just a word by itself. So let's take a look. Nevada comes from a Spanish word. The original word is nevar, which means to snow. So something is Nevada. It's a describing word that means snowy or snow covered, right? And there are places, even though if you've ever been to Nevada, there's lots of places that are quite hot. There's also beautiful mountains that get snow covered. Okay, one of the most famous places in Nevada is a place called Lake Tahoe. It's a huge lake that's surrounded by mountains, and the tops of those mountains are covered with snow. These are other places in Nevada that have beautiful snowy mountaintops. And so Nevada, even though it's hot in a lot of places, it actually means snowy. Ready for one more? We're going to do one more. So we heard French, and we heard Latin, and we heard Ojibwe, and we heard Spanish. We have one more language we're going to talk about. Ready? This is the state that's further west than any other state. And it's all the way out here. Here's where the continuous United States are, and it's Hawaii. Hawaii is so far. I wanted to show you this map because sometimes people just tuck it under here because the map won't fit. But that's how far it is. Here's the westernmost part of the United States, California. And it takes hours and hours and hours to fly to Hawaii. Okay? Here's a close-up of what Hawaii looks like. It's a group of islands. And the biggest island is called Hawaii. All the other islands have names. And some of the islands, actually no one even lives on. And so the name Hawaii actually comes from a language called Hawaiian, or sometimes we say it's part of a language family called Polynesian. Okay? And we're not exactly sure what Hawaii means. But it's probably talking about their homeland called Hawaiki. Okay? We're not sure exactly what the word means, but we know that it's beautiful. We know that there's lots of beautiful places in Hawaii, and these are some of the different kinds of landscapes that you'll see: volcanoes and seashores and lots of other cool things like that. You'll see palm trees and mountains and waterfalls when you go to Hawaii. So that's it. That's it. So we learned a little bit about how the names of our states can come from different languages, and they help to tell the story of that state. Okay? So maybe you'll get to see those states in a book, or for real sometime in your life, and you can know that that was a part of us celebrating the 250th anniversary of this beautiful country of ours. I'll see you next time.